Hey, what's going on, everybody? Just talking about this coronavirus. I'm here in the LA area, SoCal, Long Beach specifically. Um, Pretty much, I believe we're in a watershed moment. This is going to change the world. It's almost the impact is like 9/11, but it's not. You can't compare it to 9/11. Uh, but yeah, this is going to change how we travel. This is going to change um, I think border security, um, even doing events, things like that. Just more things we have to think about. This is going to be one of those. This might be, you know, I'm not a guru or anything, but this might be one of those moments. Like I remember the world before 9/11, and it felt like a whole new world. Like nothing was ever the same. You hear about it if you like history, kind of like I do. You hear about it before World War I, like it was a whole different world. And after World War I, things were never the same. And that's just kind of where we might be at with this epidemic. So you want to be safe. You want to definitely, keep up your hygiene. And the thing is, it's going to get worse. I think everybody has this feeling like you don't know if to panic or to believe the government per se, or if everybody's overreacting. And we're kind of creating the hysteria too because like resources are getting low for certain things um, before it even hits. But I mean, honestly, if you look at Washington State right now, some of the stuff that's getting reported out of Washington State, I think it's a. This is just my personal opinion. I think it's a preview of where we're headed. Um, and so this thing is going to get worse before it gets better. So, um, unfortunately, we're going to have to do things to protect ourselves. I'm in the fuel industry, uh, in delivery, so I don't even know how that's going to affect us. It's like I deliver jet as well, and it's just like, well, more people are going to travel. I mean, not less people are going to travel, even though the prices are cheap. So it's like, are people going to shelter? If we're all for quarantine, of course, there's shelter in place, and it won't matter. But like people like me in my industry, and I do real estate as well. Who knows how that's gonna? It's just funny. It's kind of like uh, back in 2008. You never know how you're gonna get smacked and how this thing, this monster is gonna react. One thing I can say, I think it's a good time to invest in the stock market, maybe like in ETFs and things like that. There's no telling who's going to win and who's going to lose per se, but everything's on sale. So solid companies that we know or that you have a good idea that are going to be around, they're on discount right now. If you haven't jumped into the market, people that are in the market, they're hurting right now, so they may be a little bit more timid. But listening to Warren Buffett and things like that, do you think this is the end of the United States? I don't think so. I could be wrong. It just might be it. Like this might be how it all ends. Just Corona just took out the whole U.S. But I seriously doubt that. So, um, even flights, man. Like, us young people, we like, we like trick it, man. Flights are cheap. Like, I don't care if I get sick, but it's like, bro, like, thinking about it, it's like, nah, that's mean if you do get sick, that's 14-day quarantine. Like, I can't afford to take 14 days off. You feel me? Not in my trucking industry. Of course, real estate, yeah, I could work that from home, whatever. But yeah, my boss would be highly upset. So so there's just a lot um, different factors. But I feel y'all when it comes to hey, let's just get these tickets. They cheap. Go wherever you're trying to go. You feel me? Like hell yeah, I'm down with that. Um, this real estate market, who knows, man? I mean, everybody's been like, everybody said there's going to be a crash in 2020, and lo and behold, there's a crash in 2020. So it's like, did we make it happen? You know, um, are we making things happen, or was everybody right? You know, it didn't come the way we thought. I have friends of mine that thought it was going to be automation was going to have like robots is taking everybody's job. You know, and I don't see it. We don't see it coming like that. It's just more like this Corona's like literally shutting countries down. Italy's reeling right now, and that's not even a laughing matter. But I mean, they're one of the oldest countries in the world, so they were the most vulnerable. And then even with us, it's like I got my parents, my grandparents, and I'm not taking my kids around them. I don't want to lose them over me. Like I'm not trying to kill them, you know. So even though it kind of makes me not want to buy airplane tickets, you know, and just be more responsible. But probably until we have some kind of like better directions on things, I don't even think I'll be visiting my dad and grandparents like that. Unfortunately, just because I don't want to, you know, I don't want to be the reason to put somebody at risk. So, period. I don't want nobody to die over me. And I love my dad. I love my parents. You know, I'm sure you do too. You know, so it's just one of those challenge. We live in some challenging times right now, and sometimes it's hard to know what's up. You know, I mean, you can call me an extremist, but I got delivering what I deliver. I already had one of these. This one's for vapor. I got the other ones for dust. It's at home, but these cartridges are for vapor. But I don't know if it even stops like bio things like that per se. Um, oh, also with the corona, from what I'm hearing, I just heard this first time hearing this last night is that it lasts a few hours in the air. A few hours now. Most I'm not a professional when it comes to this. But from my experience, when you're dealing with most viruses and things, they tend to don't last that long. Um, not being around humans or not being for another host. So I can see maybe, 5, 10, 15 minutes, 30 minutes, but, a few hours, that's new. And then also, another thing that's being said is that on surfaces, it can last up to 3 days. So I've never heard any virus like that. Um, you know, now you could, I'm sure the comments are like, well, you haven't heard nothing. Maybe, but yeah. So I think that played a major factor into the NBA. I think they were kind of concerned. Besides Rudy Gobert, that was like the final straw. They just said cut it, and that was crazy. Like I never seen nothing like that. Like before tip off, they calling everybody in. People, and so they bought these tickets, season ticket holders, and it's just insane times. So, but yeah, I was talking to my dad about it. He's just saying, stay prayed up, son. He gave me rendezvous points. Try to have an emergency kit, some canned foods just in case, because you never know. It's better to be safe than sorry. I'd rather have it and not need it than need it and not have it. But we also got to look out for each other too, And unfortunately, there's gonna be people trying to profit off this thing, and enterprise. And that's not really. People look at them like it's sleazy, but they're providing a service as well. What sleazy is when you're over here buying more than what your family may need, than your immediate needs. So now you're taking from other families, and then you're gonna price gouge them. But then from there, and they're like, hey, well, people need this, and I have it. So, and they kind of control. Like, do you really? When people are price gouging, you're not gonna buy more than what you need. Period. Like, if it's because you really need it, you're gonna pony up the cash. But then, what about the people that don't have the cash? So, I think that's where we're gonna need a little bit of definitely need regulation. Other countries are over here canceling people's mortgages and stuff, and I'm like, wow. I'm not canceling; they're suspending, which means they will reinstate them once everybody can work. But they're just trying to make it to where you don't have to go to work in other countries. I think that's awesome. Even though in my situation that I'm in, it probably wouldn't work for me. Unfortunately, I'm more of an entrepreneur, so there's no really it's like too bad for y'all. Get up out of here. You know what I'm saying? Um, so, but you know, I'll survive. I'm a grinder. You know, this is a lot of time. Hey, these times are scary, but there's always like these times are always opportunities too. And it seems like every time I decide to get back into real estate, like last time it was '08, and it was the worst time. Well, supposedly the worst time to jump in, but I made the most money in my life in the recession. So that's when all the cash investors came. Deals was closing in a couple of days. So you was selling like hotcakes. The only problem is just nothing was selling for much. And we're just in some interesting times. We don't know how the market's going to react. People got interest rates are so low, nobody wants to leave. Um, you know, there's not a lot of new construction. I think we need a whole lot more new construction going on. So, like, if I was a young person, maybe get into the general contractor scene again. Even though they got hit hard in the last recession, um, we need a lot more homes. There's not enough homes out there. And I think because like and the especially like people that are my age, I'm 36, and a little bit younger and a little bit older, they're not trying to move around like that. They're trying to stay in stuff that's practical. They're not trying to go for the mansion. And so the McMansions, they're just trying to like get this payment and maybe pay this thing off quickly. You know, because we survive. We're like depression babies. We're recession proof. And so recession forced us to change. That was financially changed us. And man, here we go again. This is going to be something else that's we're going to have to be forced to adapt, to change, to grow, learn. So, but you know, I had friends staying out the market trying to time the market, and it's like you can't time the market. You don't know. You know, it could just be a small bump or it could be a major bump. And sitting around trying to time the market, you may have missed the low bump. You know, I told them, yeah, our market was at historic highs, but it could have gone a lot higher. And especially with automation coming in, okay, everything's becoming more efficient. So the thing about that is like, in my thoughts on it is, yeah, unemployment's going to rise, but consumption perhaps could rise, and it's going to be a lot more efficient companies. So that's mean like profits are probably going to go through the roof. So it's just going to be like the permanent upper class, permanent lower class type situation. That's what I thought. But, you know, Mother Nature's throwing something else at us. So we just don't know. Anyway, guys, I'm getting ready to get back into work. But these are just my thoughts. And please stay safe. If you like what I'm talking about, like and subscribe. There's going to be more. I'm going to be probably starting I'm working on either a real estate channel or maybe adding real estate videos to this. I'm going to help with first-time home buyers because our generation, you know, this is just my thoughts. I'm thinking that they might need help on first-time home buying. They're going to need help on like people that selling their own house on their own. Basically help with like paperwork and things like that. People that are trying to first-time home buyers, they're going to need to know about finding like the number one reason why deals fall through. You know, how important a loan officer is, picking a loan officer, maybe to get an agent or a loan officer first. You know, what kind of payments are you looking for, areas. So I'm looking to interview actually with real estate attorneys, people all through the transaction, and just kind of educate people as much as they can on real estate. Because even though a part of me is like, all this information's out there, people already know it. But then there's like a new generation, like my generation, that are kind of late to purchasing, I believe. Some of us, not all of us, but some of us. And maybe they don't have that info. And I know my generation was very timid about buying a home. But it's projected that we're going to start getting into the market, and we're not looking for the McMansions and stuff like that. So just trying to, I've always been trying to like be practical, save people money, make people happy, per se. You don't have to like me. Not looking to be liked. I'm just looking to be professional. So feel free to quarantine me or whatever, or correct me. I love that. I can grow from that. And also, if you're in the LA area and you want to hook up and We can, like I said, I can interview you about one, what you offer, and just kind of like pick your brain a bit about transactions. I just joined Keller Williams Pacific Estates in Long Beach, one of the hottest. Actually, it's one of the busiest little offices in Southern California for Keller Williams, and yeah. So that's those are kind of the things I'm working on, and still kind of making decisions on how I'm going to do it, put it together, and just a very informative channel. There's a lot of content that you can stuff in there, and it just won't be, hey, come work with me, No, it'll be actually practical things that you can use. Not trying to sell you nothing, except maybe some merch. My wife, I'm married, and she actually does these like. She has her own little business on the side. She does this thing called Beach Hippo. She makes her own bags, her own jewelry. She's very creative. I'm a creative person, but she's like creative and hands-on, can fix anything, which is cool. Um, Type person, and you know, I look forward to helping her out with her merch and things like that, and maybe even me opening up a merch store as well. So this is this is my infancy. Haven't mentioned my zenith, and like I said, by December 31st, things are gonna look a lot different. So just stay tuned. So like, subscribe, comment, share. Alrighty, bye bye.